Have you ever found yourself just endlessly scrolling through your social media feed, or felt that powerful, nagging urge to know a secret, even a totally pointless one? Well, it turns out the part of your brain that's driving that curiosity is shockingly similar to what's going on in a gambler's head at the casino, or even what fuels drug addiction. So let's dive into this and uncover the shared reward circuit that's behind some of our most powerful and sometimes strangest urges.
So let me start by asking you this. Why do we want to know things so badly? And I'm not talking about learning a new skill or something useful. I mean that deep, almost illogical craving for information, even when you have a sinking feeling that you're probably not going to like the answer.
Research on this is just wild. Get this, in studies, people will willingly risk getting a literal electric shock from a trick pen just to find out if it's the one that zaps. We will actually pay money to find out how much more we could have won in a game, basically paying to feel regret. And we'll choose to look at disturbing or morbid pictures over nice, pleasant ones more than a third of the time. It's like our need to just know can completely override our desire to feel good.
So what is going on here? Well, all this seemingly irrational behavior points to an absolutely incredible connection deep inside our brains. Let's break down what's really happening.
This connection links together three powerful forces you might not think are related. And it all starts with this one: curiosity. You know, that fundamental, almost primal urge we have to explore and to fill in the blanks.
Then you've got the very same internal system being fired up by the thrill of gambling. It's that intoxicating pull of the bet, that heart-pounding suspense of not knowing the outcome. And all of this leads us right to the powerful, sometimes scary, grip of addiction. That compulsive need to chase a substance or a behavior, like endlessly scrolling social media, even when we know it's not good for us. And here it is. This is the big reveal. That intense urge of curiosity, the thrill of the gamble, and the compulsion of addiction, they are all being fueled by the exact same ancient reward system in our brains. They're all speaking the same neural language. Now check this out, because this is the hard evidence. This is a brain scan from a study where people were willing to risk electric shocks for two different things: food, a basic survival reward, and just plain information, a totally abstract reward. And those glowing spots, they show the brain's reward centers lighting up in almost the exact same way for both. It's incredible. Our brain literally treats the craving for knowledge just like a craving for food.
Okay, to really understand how this all works, we need to pull apart a really crucial scientific idea that separates the urge from the actual pleasure. And it all comes down to the difference between wanting something and liking something.
The fancy science term for this is incentive salience. But all you really need to know is this. It's that powerful, motivational pull, the wanting, that happens before you even get the reward. And the crazy part is that feeling can be completely disconnected from how much you actually like or enjoy the thing once you get it. This chart lays it out perfectly. Wanting is all about the anticipation, that drive, that impulse to go after something. It's the thrill of the chase. Liking, on the other hand, is what happens when you get it. It's the actual pleasure, the satisfaction you feel. Two totally different things. And right here, this separation is the absolute key to understanding the paradox of addiction. It explains how someone can have an overwhelming, all-consuming wanting for something, a drug, a bet, that they don't even like anymore. The chase, the impulse, has completely taken over, even if the reward itself brings no joy.
So that brings us back to curiosity. If this wanting system is really that powerful, how much are we actually willing to pay to satisfy it? Well, an experiment put a literal price tag on our need to know.
So in this study, people played a simple virtual card game. They were going to get a reward based on the final hand. They could either wait 5 seconds and see the result for free, or they could pay points, real points from their winnings, to flip the cards over early. And here's the kicker. Knowing early gave them zero strategic advantage. It changed nothing about the outcome. The result was just staggering. On average, people were willing to give up 7.4% of their total potential winnings. Think about that. They were actively choosing to make less money, not for a better chance to win, but just to know the outcome a few seconds sooner. They paid a real financial price just to kill their curiosity. Now, people weren't completely irrational. This chart shows they were definitely sensitive to the cost. When the price to see a card was low, they were happy to pay. But as the price went up, they were less and less likely to do it. Okay, that makes sense. There's some logic at play. But this is where the logic just falls apart. And this is the most revealing part of the whole thing. How much they were willing to pay had nothing to do with the size of the prize. Whether they stood to win big or win small, their desire to peak early was pretty much the same.
This tells us the drive wasn't about getting the most reward, it was all about getting rid of the uncertainty. That is pure wanting in action. So when this powerful reward system gets overstimulated, it doesn't just lead to a few bad financial choices in a lab. It can actually set up these cognitive traps that warp how we see the world. A perfect example of this is the near-miss effect. Picture a slot machine. 2 cherries line up, and the third one lands just 1 spot away. You lost, period. But your brain doesn't see it that way. Brain scans show that during a near miss, your reward circuits light up almost as if you'd won, creating this powerful illusion that you're so close and that a big win is just 1 more pull away. And long term, when this system is constantly overactivated, the consequences get pretty serious. It can mess with your judgment, the part of your brain that makes smart decisions. It can distort your memory, making you remember the few wins and forget the hundreds of losses. It basically rewires you to want everything right now, making it almost impossible to think about long-term consequences.
So we've got these powerful ancient drives that can sometimes lead us down the wrong path. What are we supposed to do? Well, the answer isn't to try and fight our own nature, but to actually understand it.
See, the goal isn't to get rid of curiosity or to stop enjoying things. The real key is to recognize when these powerful drives are pushing us to make a bad choice and then to step in with our rational thinking brain. And the only way to do that effectively is to know the science behind what's actually happening.
And this quote just nails the modern way of thinking about this. We have to move past this old idea of blaming weak willpower. A gambling disorder or any addiction isn't a moral failing. It's a biological state of imbalance, where the brain's wanting system has basically been hijacked. In the end, just knowing that your intense urge to check your phone again, or find out a piece of gossip, or click one more link comes from the same brain circuit that drives a gambler, that's incredibly empowering. It's not a flaw in your character, it's just a mechanism. And understanding the science behind that mechanism is the first, most important step toward giving your rational mind the power to step in. So the next step's up to you. How are you going to respond the next time that irresistible craving strikes?